99 cents and more. Visit your local Amazon Fresh store for low prices from A to Z and head to amazon.com/savewithfresh to see this week's deals.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
I'm a bad man.
The Las Vegas Aces won their second straight WNBA championship. They beat the New York Liberty last night to win the finals in 4 games. The Aces are the first back-to-back champs in the WNBA since Lisa Leslie and the LA Sparks did it in 2001 and 2002. Rams starting cornerback Darian Kendrick was charged with 2 misdemeanors for carrying a concealed weapon and a loaded firearm. Police found a gun in Kendrick's car early Monday morning after he was pulled over for a traffic violation in Hollywood. Rams coach Sean McVay said Kendrick will not practice or play until his legal situation is resolved. Kendrick is due back in court on December 5th. James Harden was a no-show at practice yesterday in Philadelphia. He's doing whatever he can to get the Sixers to trade him to the Clippers. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcasts of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. 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 Follow the leader.
First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money P. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tight Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First, and my first thing every single day, giving thanks, giving praises, asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and let's go. We got a lot to talk about. I think you know what we do. The first hour, we typically look local, what's happening on the West Coast. On this side, hour 2, we go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive with a person or person of interest or a hot topic today. We're going to talk about finding your purpose, getting it together, and you know, finding funding and founding your purpose is our topic today. That should be quite a conversation. But I am excited. My partner in politics, as we call them, my guest this morning, serves as the executive director and chief of staff of the Los Angeles Sentinel. That's the biggest African-American owned and operated newspaper west of the Mississippi. That also encompasses the LA Watts Times and WBOK Radio New Orleans, which was the only talk station in the South dedicated totally to issues affecting the African-American community. Sound familiar? I'm talking about Danny Bakewell Jr. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm well. I'm excited to be here. You know, I'm an early bird, so it works for me.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm not, but, you know, you got to do what you got to do.
That's hard to believe. You're not an early person.
After all these years, right? Front page. Yeah, well, you know, it's amazing what we do when we got to do it. But you're also a board member of the Black Alumni Association at USC, a life member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, and involved with the Association of Newspapers. You got a lot of hats.
Yeah, I got a lot of hats. I do a lot of different things. And, you know, in my spare time, I also kind of run the family's real estate development business. So I do a lot of different things.
Which is actually, you know, a long-standing and pretty wide-ranging business for your family.
That is. You know, the real estate business for our family, you know, really is kind of the base. I mean, other than social activism, you know, my dad started as a civil rights leader in this community. And, you know, we've just continued on. And I appreciate and respect the responsibility that I have to kind of lead our family and our business and our community into the next generation. So I take that very seriously.
You do. And it's interesting because it seems like in a lot of families, especially Black families, it could go either way. You either go all into the family business, you know, and embrace that, or they run the other way, right?
Yeah, well, you know, the good thing is if you talk to my dad, he'll probably tell you at some point in my life I ran the other way.
Right.
But, you know, God bless that I, you know, found my way and I'm here. And I really do take it seriously because, you know, we talk about generational wealth in our community. And I tell people all the time, my biggest driving force for me is that I don't want to be one of those children, heirs, whatever you want to call them, that kind of squandered the things that your family built. My dad spent a lot of time. My grandfather was a contractor as well and an entrepreneur. He had a grocery store and a pool hall and a sandwich shop and a check cashing business and all of these different things. My dad followed in his footsteps. I've been blessed to be able to follow in my dad's. But I take that responsibility. I don't want anybody to ever come and say, you know, he had all of these opportunities and he squandered them. I want to build for the next generation, both for my family and for our community.
So really you're the third generation of entrepreneurial Bakewells.
Definitely. You know, my great-grandfather, you know, started off, he was a janitor in the high school or a school in New Orleans. But, you know, he went to work every day in a suit. And that's how he, you know, carried himself, and that was his responsibility. That's where my dad got his style of the double-breasted suit and all of that.
So as the great-granddad that manifested this business persona.
Yeah, and, you know, we take it seriously.
Yeah.
We understand it's a blessing. But, you know, the other part of it is that for our family, you know, what we do, I tell people all the time, the thing that we are most into is we are in the business of being Black. And that we do the things that we do to help our community, to uplift our community. And that goes a lot of different ways. That from the real estate business, most of our real estate developments are in the Black community in Compton, in South Los Angeles, in Northwest Pasadena, in Seaside, California. So that's it. You know, we obviously have the Sentinel right here on Crenshaw, and we take a responsibility of that. And then, you know, our whole media business, New Orleans, you know, when we had WBOK was, you know, strictly about uplifting the Black community and doing what you do, which is talking back and talking Black.
Yeah. Are we, Danny Bakewell Jr., are you and I, are we Nepo babies?
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, my dad being a writer and author, you know, a social activist, sometimes they're big shoes. I mean, that's how, when I was younger, I felt that way. As I've gotten older, I feel less, I still respect him, obviously, but I have less of a shadow because I feel like you find your own space.
You do, and you have to find your own space. You have to be able to do it your way. I mean, one of the things that I've matured and grown is that I learned that I'm not going to do things the way my dad did them in a lot of different ways. And there was probably a time in my life when I felt if I wasn't doing it the way he wanted me to do it or the way he would have done it, I was doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the way, I realized, like, you know, you're kind of smart. You think you can do it. Let's try it your way. So now I'm always walking around saying, I told you guys that it wasn't going to work that way. You should have did it my way to start with. So.
Yeah, I know the feel. For me, it was like anything I do is going to be judged through the lens of my dad's greatness, so I should do nothing. Nothing in the public space.
But, you also talk about this being a Nepo baby kind of thing. Part of the thing that you have to deal with is I really try to never walk in a space of entitlement. I try to walk.
Okay.
I try to walk into a space of earnest and earned it. So, I'm blessed to be able to garner a lot of respect in this community and a lot of appreciation. But I also want to be said that he earned it. He did the work, and so I tell our staff, I tell different people, I'm like, look, I'm gonna get up early. You're not gonna be able to outwork me. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna get it done. Yesterday I was out sweeping the front of the Sentinel because we had stuff going on. So but my staff sees that and they appreciate that and they respect that. And this comes from my grandfather. I worked in my grandfather. My grandfather had a liquor store. He called it a mini market or a market on Central and Gage. And at 7, 8 years old, my job was to clean up the parking lot and clean up the back of the building. And I did that. And my grandfather told me, never be afraid to get your hands dirty. You can always go wash your hands. And that is always, and that mantra, while at the time seemed like it was crazy, has walked with me for a long time. So, I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. I'm not afraid to get it done. I don't operate from the sense of entitlement. I operate from a sense of appreciation, from hard work, and a get to it that I work towards. So.
Yes, we see Mr. Bakewell got here 2 hours before the start time. I love it. That's the toughest kind of boss to work for because they're always going to be there waiting for you when you arrive.
Yeah, I generally get to the Sentinel somewhere between 6 and 6:30 every morning.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's it. And look, this is Taste of Soul Week, so
that it is.
People don't understand that. Like. For me, it starts really today. So I'm doing this interview today. This evening we have our VIP reception that we're hosting for all our sponsors and corporate partners. Tomorrow morning we have Media Day in front of the Sentinel where all the TV stations and everybody is going to come out. And then Friday night is set up, and we're going to do something really exciting this year. We've actually got a camera that's going to film the entire operation.
Wow.
So you can see Crenshaw is converted from just a busy street to, the festival to Taste of Soul, and then the tear down that goes on. And so the other part of that is at the end of Taste of Soul, we have a responsibility. When we pull that permit and we close that street at 7, 8 p.m. tomorrow, it's hours until we give it back to the city, probably at 3 to 4 a.m. Sunday morning. And I'll be there. I'm the last guy to say, okay, City of LA, you can have your street back. And so I'm about to do 72 hours nonstop, but,
Well, thanks for coming here and giving us the scoop first. I think it's, awesome. Especially since your media day, as you mentioned, is tomorrow. I know there's a lot of new things going on this year. Taste of Soul, the festival continues to grow, surviving the pandemic and reinventing and expanding. We'll hear about all that. What is in store? You'll get the scoop right here on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
A sense of peace, a place to kick back and put down roots. A lasting legacy. However you define home, at City National, we're committed to helping you get there with our City National Ladder Up Home Loan Program. Find the full benefits at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National Bank, here for our clients and communities. Ladder Up program is available only in select areas. Terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS ID 536994.
Pro football player Travis Kelce is pressed for time during the football season. So he does two things at once. Whether it's grilling while mowing.
Two things at once!
Or getting this season's updated COVID-19 shot at the same visit as his flu shot.
Two things at once.
You can be like Travis and ask your pharmacist about getting this season's COVID-19 shot at the same visit as your flu shot, if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC. Learn more and schedule at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer.
King C. Gillette knows you're dedicated to your barbershop routine. But what about after? What's your routine for facial hair to avoid dry skin, itching, and beard rough? Well, the King C. Gillette Beard Oil is a perfect fit for making your beard feel as good as it looks. It softens your facial hair and moisturizes to help prevent itch due to dry skin. Get facial hair that feels as good as it looks. Just trim, wash, and soften with King C. Gillette.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Are you interested in catching up on all the latest entertainment news, trending topics, and exciting interviews? I got you. Tune in to The Raw Report with Robin Ayers, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. I'm your host, Robin Ayers. Join me every weekday with some of the best entertainment contributors in the business as we break down what's going on, who's got next, and what not to miss. Only on The Raw Report with Robin Ayers.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look, and unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at the gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
All the scoop on the biggest party we have around here in LA. Now, for those of you listening from other markets, other cities and states, Taste of Soul is a gigantic festival that shuts down Crenshaw Boulevard, our biggest strip in the Black community, and it is literally hundreds of thousands of people that come out. Danny Bakewell Jr. is over the Sentinel, which presents this festival along with their sponsors. This started as a cute little thing, it seemed like to me. I live in the area. It's a cute little thing. We'll have a few food vendors out. We'll get to literally taste the soul. When you started it, did you think it was going to turn into this ginormous thing?
Taste of Soul really grew to something that we never could have imagined.
Right.
It probably from the start was probably one of the biggest festivals that LA had seen. I think our first year we had about 35,000 people is what, LAPD and the fire department told us our attendance was. And, that's what we did. But, we talk about, Black community and Black people. Well, we believed that we deserved and could have a great festival just as other communities do. And, unfortunately, there's always the naysayers. Oh, if you have this festival, it's going to be this and it's going to be X, Y, and Z. And honestly, to credit my dad, he told the elected officials when he first came and had the conversation, he said, I'll tell you what. He said, if it works, I'll take all, you can have all the credit. And if it fails, you can blame me. So that really was the concept. But people came out. It's been positive. This is our 18th year. We've never really had any kind of incident or problem. It's through great partners. It's through great collaboration in our community. But our community takes great pride in Taste of Soul. It's our festival. It's our community kind of in front. We call our vendors and our booths, we call our restaurateur chefs. And we say we give the best, our chefs get the opportunity to display their wares and their food. And people come out, and people have come out, and now families have, like you said, family reunions. People have barbecues on their lawn, and then they walk over to Taste of Soul. great music. Look, this is a black community, so great food, great music. That all adds up for a good time for us.
Yeah, and it's always, there's always surprises and hidden gems as far as the artist, whether it be that small artist that is about to blow up, or whether it be a classic, amazing artist that is part of the community and therefore wants to be part of Taste of Soul.
Well, I'm really excited about, particularly on the Bakewell stage this year. Let's start there, and we'll work our way down Crenshaw Boulevard. So at Stocker and Crenshaw, we have the Bakewell Media Stage. And this year, we've got, as our headliner, some true homegrown talent. For those of you old school like myself, we got the Whispers, who are going to be the big performer. And if you don't know the story of the Whispers, but the Whispers grew up in Watts. I think they went to Jordan High School. This is local. So I did an interview a few years ago, and they're like, man, we want to perform at Taste of Soul. But unfortunately, up until now, they were always on the road at this time. So this year, we went and got them booked way early to come. So they're going to come, and we're going to, we're going to rock steady, and we're going to have a good time. And so we also have what we call Star Quest, which is kind of our version of Talent Search. So we have people submit, audio and videos and submit them through YouTube and all of that. And then our staff had a judging, and we argued, and we figured out who were the winners. So, we're going to have local homegrown talent right on our Bakewell Media stage, our Star Quest winner. And then when we work our way down, we also have a gospel stage, because we always want to pay privilege and homage to God. So we have a gospel stage, the Brenda Marsh Mitchell Gospel Stage. For those of you who do and don't know Brenda was my dad's longtime executive assistant, who was really just a very religious, spiritual woman. Everything she did was led by, her Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And so it was appropriate. And she was the one who way back said, we got to have a gospel stage. And, we said, okay, well, and she put it together. So in her honor, she passed away about 7-8 years ago.
Yes, I remember.
We named it the Brenda Marsh Mitchell Gospel Stage, and we've got just some fabulous gospel artists that are coming. All the churches, all the gospel choirs throughout all the big churches, West Angeles, and Bishop Kenny Omers. Well, I guess it's not Bishop Omers since he's retired, but we've got all the churches coming, and we get a little gospel competition going and all of that, and we're going to praise God and thank Him for this day in our community. And then,
now, where is that stage?
That stage is at King and Crenshaw.
Oh, that's okay, right at the main intersection.
Right at the main, so right in the middle. And we basically cover 2 miles along Crenshaw Boulevard, and then the last one. Our longtime partners at another radio station at KBLA, and they're going to do their thing. And quite honestly, I don't really know all the artists. I know Major's on their stage, and I don't know all the artists that are going to be on the KBLA stage, but that's at Obama in Crenshaw. And so that's it. We have Kids World, which so you come out, and we've got stuff for the kids to do. So this is really a family celebration.
I saw that. I saw they had some great people at Stevie's stage this year as well.
Yeah.
And looking forward to that. And then you also have a beer garden.
Yeah. So we have the Mothers in Action Beer Garden, and this year our celebrity chair this year is the great Tiffany Haddish. And for those of you. Everybody knows Tiffany, but Tiffany lives right here in the community, and she often just shows up at Taste of Soul. You look up, and there she is, strolling up and down Crenshaw, eating a piece of fried chicken, having a good time. But she's our celebrity chair, and one of the things she wanted to do was bring out some of her friends, and it's a way for her. It costs to get in the beer garden, there's a cover charge, but it's not a big. It's really, I shouldn't say it's a cover charge. There's a 2-drink minimum. So you got to buy 2 tickets when you come through the door. And but you're going to get some great comedy. You got some great performing artists. So you're going to get it. So we have the comedy stage. So we have a little comedy club
inside the beer garden. And that's a benefit to Mothers in Action.
Right.
So it's not just pay, it's pay it for a good cause.
Right. So you pay you get the 2-drink minimum, and this year Mothers in Action, and then we also Tiffany has her own foundation called She Ready Foundation, and so some of the dollars go towards She Ready Foundation as well. So so again, We're going to do some good in the community at the same time, have a good time. So that's exciting. And that's really what Taste the Soul is about. It's do good in our community. From Taste the Soul, we're able to give a lot of scholarships to young African-American students throughout the city of Los Angeles. And it's not always, when we choose the people who get these scholarships, it's not always about these, exemplary GPAs. We don't always just, how is GPA? We look at your thing. We look at, if you were failing and you failed all your classes as a freshman, but you're a senior now and you're getting ready to go to, Southwest College or Compton Community College or somewhere else, you still need a scholarship to be able to buy your books.
Right.
And, the fact that you uplifted from failing all your classes to a C average, that's worthy of being awarded as well and recognized. So it's not always just about, high GPA. It's about your journey to excellence.
Yeah, I'm smiling because so many people that I know that are huge successes now struggled in school. Mm-hmm. And so it was that bounce back. It's great that you guys recognize that bounce back.
No,
because
I'm
that's
definitely
important.
one of those ones who struggled in school. I don't know that I failed all my classes, but I certainly wasn't an exemplary student.
Yeah, some of the most successful people I know do not have the greatest high school transcripts.
That would be me. I went to Verbum High School in Watts. For those of you who know Verbum, particularly when it was all African American, all male school in Watts. And I was my senior class was 100 students, and I was literally number 50 or 51. So I was dead smack middle of the ground. So
yeah, I think that by we right now, I mean Black people would benefit from recognizing bounce back or recognizing progress, and not only spotlighting those perfect, or the ones that have managed to come up perfect, even though we have these sayings, you got to be twice as good to get half the credit and all that kind of stuff. How about the ones that are, making strides? I love that.
Yeah. And, we, look, as Black people, we have to be twice as good in order to succeed. But twice as good is a lot of different things. I mean, look, if you overcome your challenges, you had to work twice as hard to overcome those challenges because you had more roadblocks in your way than most other people had in their way. You had family struggles, you probably had financial struggles, but you also, look, racism is real in America, particularly today. So you have to overcome that too. You have to overcome preconceived notions. You made a decision. It's easy for people to assume you're a young African-American male, you're not that smart, you this, that, whatever you want to call it. So for you to, have the fortuitous to brush it off, shake it off, and grind whatever success you have, that needs to be awarded and applauded. And that's what we try to do because, it's tough out here.
It is. And bounce back is one of the most important things that a person can have in life.
There you go. Look, you're going to fall down. It's about getting back up. That's always the challenge. But we continue to do it. We continue to encourage it. We continue to strive for it. And, that's how we succeed.
And, of course, the Sentinel is the hub for all of this stuff, even though, as you pointed out, your family business is multi-pronged. Mm-hmm. Just got about a minute before news, traffic, and sports, so we'll continue on the other side. But running a newspaper is more than a notion. Newspapers are dying across the country, even big ones.
Yeah.
This probably not a huge profit center.
It's
a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
So why?
Because it's important to do it. Because it's important to be able to have our story. We say, the Sentinel is our community speaking for itself. So we've got to be able to get our message. We've got to be able to tell our story. Because if we don't tell our story, who else is going to tell it? We see things in our community so differently than mainstream media, and we have to tell that story from our perspective, as you do every day.
Yeah, but it is different, and time after time after time we see that. So I'm glad you guys keep it going. You're listening to Danny Bakewell Jr. in the studio with the scoop on Taste of Soul coming up this weekend on Saturday. A lot more straight ahead on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information Network. In Illinois, new Chicago top cop Larry Snelling wants officers to be more aggressive when it comes to fighting crime. The African-American police superintendent says it's what he calls aggressive constitutional policing, and he believes it will curb criminal activities such as downtown takeovers when young people become disorderly. A top executive with SpaceX says government regulations could be risking U.S. space dominance. SpaceX is facing a safety review of its plans to launch a giant moon rocket from its facility in South Texas. SpaceX Vice President William Gerstenmaier warned that eventually we will lose our lead and we'll see China land on the moon before we do. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
At your Amazon Fresh store, you can rely on roasted chicken for $4.97, 2-pound bunches of bananas for 99 cents, French bread for 89 cents, and more. Visit your local Amazon Fresh store for low prices from A to Z and head to Amazon.com/savewithfresh to see this week's deals.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Las Vegas Aces won their second straight WNBA championship. They beat the New York Liberty last night to win the finals in 4 games. The Aces are the first back-to-back champs in the WNBA since Lisa Leslie and the LA Sparks did it in 2001 and 2002. Rams starting cornerback Darian Kendrick was charged with 2 misdemeanors for carrying a concealed weapon and a loaded firearm. Police found a gun in Kendrick's car early Monday morning after he was pulled over for a traffic violation in Hollywood. Rams coach Sean McVay said Kendrick will not practice or play until his legal situation is resolved. Kendrick is due back in court on December 5th. James Harden was a no-show at practice yesterday in Philadelphia. He's doing whatever he can to get the Sixers to trade him to the Clippers. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
At City National, we listen to you.
I want to expand my business and my legacy.
I want to set up the next generation for success.
I want to see my vision come to life.
I want to feel right at home. Your goals, passions, vision, future. We want to hear it and work alongside you to achieve it. Visit cnb.com to learn more. City National Bank. Here for our clients and communities.
Do you have both Medi-Cal and Medicare? The new LA Care health plan called LA Care Medicare Plus, HMO DSNP, can help you get the most out of your health plan for $0 premium. LA Care is here to provide Angelenos with access to quality health care at an affordable cost. For $0 premium, you can get full benefits from vision coverage and in-home support services to prescription drug coverage, plus more. Call 855-688-1479. 855-688-1479.
It's a different world at Pasadena City College. Come find out why during PCC's On the Yard HBCU Caravan, happening Tuesday, October 24th from 4 to 6 p.m. on the Colorado Boulevard campus of Pasadena City College. Over 20 historically black colleges and universities will be on campus, and some colleges will be offering on-the-spot admissions. You heard that right, on the spot. All you need to do is bring your unofficial transcripts. So come to PCC's On the Yard HBCU Caravan for the opportunity to win scholarships and prizes, enjoy some mouth-watering DD's Chicken Cat Shack, and tasty burgers from Fat Boys for free. It's all happening on Tuesday, October 24th. The HBCU Caravan is proudly presented by PCC's Transfer Center, Office of Inclusion, Equity, Diversity, and Justice, and the California Community Colleges, Chancellor's Historically Black Colleges, and Universities Initiative. For more information, visit pasadena.edu/HBCU or call 626-585-7287.
What's up? I'm Danelle Riley, FAMU alumni and creator of the HBCU Culture Shop. I am so proud of my new partnership with Black Beyond Measure and Target. They help me elevate community pride with my HBCU designs and continue to support Black creators and entrepreneurs with Target HBCU challenges, scholarship programs, and campus collaborations. Let's come together this homecoming season and beyond. Shop my brand and discover other Black-owned products at target.com/blackbeyondmeasure.
The Green Foundation, key health influencer, empowering our Black communities through action. The Green Foundation advocates for affordable health care, accessibility, and knows the importance of culturally relatable health care. Regardless of income, we believe it is a right for optimum health. The Green Foundation has been at the forefront for 25 years, dedicated solely to promoting prevention through early detection, annual screenings, and nutrition. We know you because we are you. Our hand-holding approach supports you and your family to receive your right to be treated fairly and receiving quality healthcare services. We want you and your family to know COVID-19 was devastating to our families and to our wallet. We can build back better by understanding prevention, wearing your mask, washing your hands, social distancing, and understanding the impact of long COVID. Get the care you deserve. Take advantage of your privileges. Contact us, info@thegreenfoundation.net. info@thegreenfoundation.net.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Today, you're also waking up with Danny Bakewell Jr. He is a journalist, a publisher, and this week, a festival organizer. Taste of Soul, a gigantic free outdoor festival here in Los Angeles, right on Crenshaw. Do you guys, of course you have to have sponsors, you have to have people that back this up for it to be free. But have you ever considered, you know what, we'll gate this thing, we'll charge people, or is free part of the vision of Taste of Soul?
Free is part of the vision for Taste of Soul. And so at this point, 18 years into it, it is and will continue to be a free festival. And that wouldn't be done if it wasn't for our corporate partners, people like, Metro, who, if you're coming to Taste of Soul and you should take Metro because it's right here, drops off right in the heart of our community. So they deserve to be supported. But, Chase Bank is another, big sponsor. Chevy is a big sponsor. Those corporate partners really put their money where their mouth is to make sure that this festival remains free, that it remains also a high-quality event. We were talking when we were off air about our community and why is this festival so successful? And part of it is because it's a quality event. We raise our standard every year to make it better. We don't compete against other festivals. We compete against ourselves because we think that we already are the best festival in the state of California, if not the country. But we try to raise the bar in terms of entertainment, in terms of quality of the vendors, and in terms of the total overall experience that you get at Taste of Soul. And we continue to drive that. But that would not be possible if it wasn't for the great partners and sponsors that we have who really step up and make sure that this community gets the best that it deserves.
I always think that's important to note, too, because there are folks that will not put their dollars in our community or in our Black media outlets. Mm-hmm. And so when folks do it and they do it in a big way, I think it's, definitely worth recognizing.
Well, look, I'm sure that here at the radio station, you guys deal with the same thing we deal with at the Sentinel, which is they always want to, kind of just give us the crumbs, and we'd like to get more advertising, be on your website, be on your social media. We want this, we want that, but all we have is $5,000. And
right.
Well, wait a minute, we're not going to accept that. We're not going to accept $5,000 to dumb us down. Our costs are our costs, and this is what our package is, and we'll work with you, but it's a partnership. It's a give and take, and that's just really the standard we talk about in our community. Unfortunately, we receive, or people often try to give us substandard material. We need and deserve quality housing. We need and deserve quality vendors and businesses and restaurants and all of the things that come with it. And we continue to uphold our standard first and foremost, because if we don't expect great things and great services, how can we expect other people to expect that of us? So we continue to do that.
And taking Metro, if you can, isn't a bad idea, because parking. The people are there, so you're gonna.
Parking is always a challenge. Parking
Yeah.
is always a great challenge. The Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall is a great partner, so they work with us particularly. I mean, first off, you got to think we have over 400 vendors. We have 400 businesses along Crenshaw. So those people pull in the middle of the night and they drop off all their products, but they got to park.
Mm-hmm.
So, in our partnership with Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall, they make those provisions. Most of the people that come to Taste of Soul, if they don't take Uber or Lyft or Metro, they park in the neighborhood. And I'm going to tell you a funny story. A year ago, last year, matter of fact, somebody in city government decided that they were going to make no parking in the neighborhood throughout Lamert Park as a way to help Taste of Soul. And all of a sudden, people started showing up. Black folks started showing up going, what is this no parking thing? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, you guys have no parking on my street. You got to let people park on my street. My family comes and they park here and we do this and we do that and we all walk to Taste of Soul. They were like, this is our festival. And I was like, ma'am, I didn't do this. I didn't ask for this. I was like, so we called the city and said, somebody thought it would be good because, we got one phone call. Somebody complained about parking on the street. And, that's these new people moving in the neighborhood. They don't understand. This is our festival. So we park in our neighborhoods and we walk to Taste of Soul. So they were really, kind of adamant, like, look.
I do it. We park in the neighborhood. I have friends calling me, can I park in your driveway?
Yeah.
Because we're going to Taste of Soul. Yeah, you can. And so I get it. And I people would be mad if they couldn't accommodate their family and friends.
And look, but that's the beauty of Black people. We are resilient. We find ways to make it work. And that has been our nature, my entire life, and certainly just as a community, that's what we do. So we find a way to make it work, and that's the beauty of the Black experience, as they say.
I keep saying I'm going to get some rollerblades for Taste of Soul. Like every year at Taste of Soul, I'm like, I should have got some rollerblades. That would be perfect. Be up and down the street.
Oh yeah. But the problem is, look, you got 200,000-300,000 people all in the middle of the street, so it's hard to get enough momentum to keep rolling. That's
true. You'd have to roll on a parallel street and then cut over.
Yeah, I mean, to get there works. You could rollerblade there, but then you got to take them rollerblades off once you enter on the Crenshaw. So
exactly.
We don't. We have a whole list of things you can and cannot do, and one of them is you can't be on scooter on Crenshaw.
Right, that makes sense.
Safety issue.
And also it's packed. You're not really going to be able to move on that scooter.
Right. And look, I think part of it is also the beauty of Taste of Soul is it's a very positive experience. We're respectful. We're appreciative of each other because. You got little kids walking around enjoying stuff, and you got grandma and grandpa also walking around enjoying the day, and that is the beauty of it. It is a family reunion. It's a chance to see a lot of people. I see so many people that I haven't seen in years. Either people I grew up with in Pasadena, or people I went to high school with, or whatever. Even when I lived in Rancho Cucamonga, I see people that I lived out there with. So. It really is just a great time, and so it's a positive day. I encourage everybody to come on out to Crenshaw on Saturday.
Okay, what are the hours? At least a couple people have asked me.
10 a.m. to 7 p.m. is the time. It kicks off. We start off with a big parade. So we got the Dorsey Band, and we got a number of high school.
When did was the parade always there?
Parade's always been there.
Okay, so I was just late.
Yeah, parade always kicks off. So. Look, everything works in coordination. So one of the things that we tell people, when the band walk comes past you, you can now open your booth. So that's really the signal for everybody along Crenshaw. When the band comes by when the parade comes by, that is the start. That's the signal for Joe's Chicken. You can start selling chicken. You've been frying for the last 2 hours, but now you can start selling it.
Right.
Okay. That's the signal.
That's the hat thrown in the air for.
There you go. Yeah, you got a 2-mile stretch, so everybody got to be able to see the hat go up. So.
Yeah. So the parade goes by. That's that booth just opened.
Yep. That's your signal.
Do you think you could ask the lobster truck to bring a little extra this year? Because they ran out.
Absolutely. Look, so one of the things that never gets focused on in talking about Taste of Soul is the economic impact, economic empowerment that it provides for these local businesses. I mean, first off, it's the only one in their community. So for the most part, they get to drive from their neighborhood to a festival. So they're making a 5-mile drive or less. But people spend a lot of dollars. I mean, look, I'm not going to disclose what I know about, how much money certain vendors make. But, one of them, Pucker Up, which is a community based in Compton. It's a lemonade stand. She's one of my favorite businesses. She's been with us the entire 18 years. But she told me last year she sold 585 gallons of lemonade.
Wow.
So
I can't even get my mind around 585 gallons of lemonade.
Right. So that's a lot of lemonade over the course of the day. So, what the economics of that is a whole nother thing. But the point is that it really, it's a business festival. It's an opportunity to be exposed to new businesses, new restaurants. People tell me about, I got catering jobs from Taste of Soul. I got, now I do this festival and that festival and all of these different things. So there is a huge economic impact that Taste of Soul
I know you don't want to say what individual vendors are making, but do you have a sense of what the economic footprint is for that Crenshaw community?
Oh, yeah. Well, I would I'm totally guessing, but I would say over the course for Taste of Soul, it's probably a $10 million day in terms of the economic impact that it has. I would tell you from all of my friends who have businesses, from Tyree Lacey, who owns the district on Crenshaw, my friend Karim Webb, who previously had the Buffalo Wild Wings. I mean, I remember he told me right after the first time he had opened up, and he's like, we had no idea. It's by far our busiest and biggest day because, look, the Wiener Schnitzel sells out. So, although it's not Der, I aged myself. My children asked me one day, they're like, why do you call it Der Wiener Schnitzel? I'm like, because I'm old. And that's what it was when I was growing up. They dropped the Der somewhere along the way. So now it's really, they only know it as Wiener Schnitzel.
Right.
They always like, Dad, why do you call it Der Wiener Schnitzel? I'm like, because I'm old and that's what it used to be called.
That's hilarious. I forgot about the Der. Danny Bakewell Jr. is my guest today, and we're talking Taste of Soul, we're talking Crenshaw community, and we are talking the Black Press. The conversation continues when we come forward exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
At Susan G. Komen, we believe that ending breast cancer needs all of us working together. Because if you've just been diagnosed and don't know where to turn, we've got you. If you can't afford the treatment you need, we've got you. And if you are driven to honor the loved one you've just lost, we have a place for you here. Because of you, we're supporting those who need help today while tirelessly searching for tomorrow's cures. Visit Komen.org and be a part of our Susan G. Komen community today.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Maisha Cairo here with a quick recap from my time at JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. There were speakers Ian Dunlap, Damon John, Lynn Richardson, MC Light, Don Kennedy, to name a few. Take a listen to what Justin Grant, Community Development Lead at Chase's Advancing Black Pathway, let's see what he had to say.
So I'm Justin Grant. I lead community development and national partnerships for JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Pathway strategy. And so we're focused on strengthening the economic foundation of black communities, and we're making targeted investments in programs like the Advancing Black Wealth Tour to help us get our tools and resources out to the community to drive sustained impact over time.
So when it comes to black and brown people, it sounds like Chase is making it their personal responsibility, not only to facilitate these events, but to educate and provide resources. So, Mr. Grant, I have to ask, what does wealth building look like for the individual?
It's home ownership. It's having that freedom to be able to start your own business and create jobs in your community. And it's having having that long-term plan towards retirement, having that vision for what you want your life to be, and you have the resources to actually live it.
I'm Aisha Cairo. Thanks for sticking around. That was my recap from Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. First stop was here in LA, and they're taking it national.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
And today at Scholarly Match is Danny Bakewell Jr., Executive Director and Chief of Staff for the LA Sentinel. I don't know what your real estate title is, but certainly the LA Sentinel brings us a Taste of Soul, the largest free festival in Southern California, right?
Yeah, by far. And probably the largest free festival in the state of California, maybe even the country. I mean, there's other, there's Taste of Chicago, but, a lot of those costs. You have to buy a ticket. You have to get involved. There's an entry fee. So, Taste of Soul is a free festival. It's an opportunity for you to really come out and enjoy the best that Black LA has to offer. And that's what we try to do.
It's funny because same thing. I feel like I'm having a huge meeting. I see all these people I haven't seen in forever. But I also notice that people from other communities come out because they want to see what Black LA has to offer.
Oh, yeah. No, we get people to come out. We get people who fly in. I mean,
what?
we get people, people say, oh, my cousin's flying in from, Mississippi and this and that. And I have a friend and her cousin came 2 years ago, just happened, one of those things happened to be in LA. Now she flies from Texas every year. It's a planned trip. So you get people who come and they come every single year.
It's 10 a.m.
10 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Last year I got there on time and saw the parade. That was the first. I was like, when did they add a parade?
Yeah,
no, Dominique, you have to get up early and go if you want to see the parade. 10 a.m. to 7 p.m.
It's 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Everything has timing. So at 6 p.m., the vendors are told to stop cooking. So they got to stop cooking at 6 p.m. so that they load up and you get it so that we can get off of Crenshaw, because it's really a coordinated effort. People don't know all of these, the dynamics and the logistics of Taste of Soul, but we really want. All of a sudden at about 6:45, I run the command center all day. So I'm kind of the go-to person and the person who can make certain decisions. And we really coordinate shutting down the Bakewell Media stage and the Stevie Wonder stage and all these at the same time, because if you let one close and the other one stays, it's almost like a teeter-totter.
Yeah.
The whole street's going to lean and everybody's going to flow one way, and that creates a logistical nightmare when it's time to exit. And that's when, so there's a whole lot of science involved to putting on a festival like this that people really just don't understand.
I mean, it's a huge project. You were talking about the 72 hours leading up to Taste of Soul, which of course is Saturday, in case you missed that. But really, you guys work on this for months.
Yeah, well,
it's a huge project.
We never stop working on Taste of Soul.
Really?
We work on it, 365. We've already actually started talking about Taste of Soul 2024.
Wow.
But let me back up. I have a fabulous team, led by my aunt Pam Bakewell, my sister Brandy Bakewell, but also Nicole Williams and Amira El Swiffy, and really our entire team really do a fantastic job. Neil Anderson, who coordinates all of our media, who you guys all know, they really put in a lot of work. A lot of time and effort goes into planning it and putting it together. And so I want to acknowledge them. They do a lot of work for Taste Soul, but it's a heavy lift. It's a heavy, heavy lift that people really don't understand. So
I'm smiling because I just think about, if the Frankenstein monster was a good thing, it's like, what have we created, right? It's this giant thing.
I'm going to tell you, this is one of my favorite stories about perspective of things. So one day, I'm at Harold and Bell's the week after one of the early Taste of Souls, right? And so this guy tells me, oh, Danny, you ought to buy everybody drinks in the restaurant. And I said, well, why? What? He said, oh, because you had, 50,000 people at Taste Soul. This was in the first couple of years. Yeah, 50,000 people on Crenshaw Boulevard last Saturday. I said, was it free? I said, did you buy a ticket? I said, because as far as I know, it was free. So how you figure I should be buying everybody in here? Then y'all should be buying me a drink. Oh, well, I never thought about it like that. I was like, obviously you didn't.
Right. Which is why it's not going to morph into a 2-day or week-long festival.
No,
it's a huge project already.
It's a huge project, and I wouldn't want to do that to myself nor to our team to make it a 2-day. We've talked about it, and one day you may look up and you may have Taste of Soul on Saturday, and then you may have a paid concert the next day. We may take over the Coliseum or somewhere and have a
Taste of Soul All-Stars or something like that.
For my old school friends, we might have a Superfest of some sort.
Right.
And that there's all kinds of things that could morph out of it. But Taste of Soul, that day, that 1-day experience is going to remain that, and I expect it's going to last a long time, long past me and you. Somebody else will be sitting in this chair talking about the greatness of Taste of Soul.
Maybe Devin Bakewell. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
We're celebrating 1 year of the K. From checking out the vibrant art and diverse dining in Lamert Park to cheering on your favorite team in Inglewood, you can choose your own adventure when you ride the Metro K-Line. Leave the car at home and go Metro. Visit metro.net/K-Line.
Hey, everything okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Honey. Hey, I'm here for you. Tell me about school today.
When kids can't find the right words, music can help them sound it out. Talk to the kids in your life about their emotional well-being. Find tools and resources at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
You got a big mouth. Hello, Joe, you're up. Welcome.
We're unapologetically progressive, and we don't black down.
Danny Bakewell Jr. is here in the studio with me. He's Executive Director and Chief of Staff at the LA Sentinel, which is the largest African-American owned and operated newspaper west of the Mississippi. And you guys just turned 90.
Yeah,
wow, congratulations.
90 years old. I think I actually...
Not you, the paper.
Right, not me. The paper. But I actually asked the city of Los Angeles if they would look and see, are we the oldest black business in Los Angeles? So they're going to let me know. But I can't think of one that has been around for more than 90 years. So we'll find out, and I'll let you know. You were looking in the chat, and you were asking me. So first off, those of you want to know what time are the Whispers performing or what time anybody's performing, my mind is so cluttered, I can't tell you. But go to tasteofsoulLA.com, and the lineups will be there, and the run of show will be there, and you can kind of pick and choose what you want to come to. And you might want to go from one end of Crenshaw to the other to see different people performing. So all of that's there on there. Also, if you grab a Sentinel, our event guide is in there, so if you're old school and just want to have it and walk around with a program in your hand,
right,
you can go to we also got an app, so we got the old school. And
I didn't know
you
had an app.
Oh yeah,
okay.
there's a Taste of Soul app, and you can get all that good information. So all of that's there. If you want to, people ask me all the time. People stop me and ask me, "Hey, how can I get on stage? I got somebody I want to perform." We actually use a production company who puts our show together, but send us your information. Have your manager, your agent reach out. We'll put you in the right direction.
Send it to the LA Sentinel.
You can send it to the LA Sentinel, and then we'll forward it to whoever's putting together the show. I don't have anything to do with the other stages.
Don't start auditioning for Danny Bakewell.
Please do not start auditioning. Don't stop me on the street and start singing. And because I might embarrass you and go, sexual chocolate, put it together for sex chocolate. So anyway, but yeah, there's always opportunity. And we believe in a homegrown show. We support LA. We want as many local artists as possible. Also, local artists cost less. We ain't got to fly them in.
I know the young man Alaman is performing.
Yeah.
And it's quite a talented young man from L.A. TasteOfSoulLA.com. Last minute here, Danny Bakewell Jr. Thank you so much for coming in. What do you want to leave us with today? What do you want people to know?
First and foremost, I want people to come to Taste of Soul. I want you to come and enjoy the L.A. Black experience. We think it is absolutely the best experience and the best that Black L.A. has to offer. So we encourage you to come out, enjoy the day. It's a day of love, family, fun, and a lot of peace and joy. So come and enjoy that. But also I want to encourage everybody to continue to support Black media.
Yes.
Not just the Black press, but Black media in general. So, KBLA, the Sentinel, even the other Black papers. And, but we want to do that because, it's important. And we need to send that message to corporate America and all of those that we care about it and we're looking. We are taking note of who is supporting us and who is not supporting us, and we support those who support us. That's our mantra at the Sentinel and here in our community. So
thank you, and I want to personally thank you for your support of the tribute that I did for my mom, the late Diane DiPrima. It meant the world to me.
Oh, my pleasure, and we've been trying to do this since you first came on air, and I promise you this is not the last time. I will be back a lot sooner.
You're right across the street. Thank you so much, Danny Bakewell Jr.
Thank you.
News, traffic, and sports, then it's the perfect time to call me on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information Network. In Illinois, new Chicago top cop Larry Snelling wants officers to be more aggressive when it comes to fighting crime. The African-American police superintendent says it's what he calls aggressive